God does not care about your credentials, okay? He does not care about your credentials because God will open the doors that need to be opened. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Faithful Influence hosted by me, Kayla. So, today we are going to talk all about doing the thing you're most afraid of. Because I am in that season now. Starting this channel was just something that I've wanted to do literally for the last 12 years of my life, but I've always been too afraid or too concerned with other people's opinions. And overall, I just got stuck in the planning process, the preparing process. Everything needs to be perfect. And if you've watched any of our videos, you can see like it's far from perfect, but we're still able to reach the right people. We're still able to share some knowledge, share some news, share some information. And yeah, that's why I wanted to talk about this video, because I know a lot of people are in this season of just doing something crazy. So I want to start today's episode off with Jeremiah 29:11, which reads, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future." And I wanted to start with this verse because a lot of times when we are in this season of knowing that there's something we are supposed to be doing, or knowing like we're so close to our purpose but we just cannot start, it's always because of fears, always because of anxiety, it's always even because of like people's possible opinions. And it's never, okay, I know God will work this out for me, or I know God, his plan supersedes, I think that's the word. His plan exceeds any plan that I could come up with on my own. And he even says it in this verse, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. So in anything that God is calling you to do, it's going to be to prosper you. It's not going to harm you, and it's going to be in the plan of giving you hope and giving you a future. So that's why I wanted to start off today's episode with that verse, because I thought it was just perfect. So now let's transition into doing the thing you're most afraid of and how you're going to start doing the thing that you're most afraid of. So one, God has already planted a seed in you. So whatever came to mind when you clicked on this video, because you clicked on this video for a very specific reason, God has already planted that seed in you. He's already planted that idea in you, whether it is a business, a YouTube channel, a hobby, ministry, whatever it is, God has already planted it in you. And he's just waiting on you to start taking action. And to me, taking action is not being a bystander to your own success, because it's not going to just come to you. What is that verse? Faith without works is dead. Okay. So you need to work at your dream, or work at the idea that God has given you, while he does the background work. Sometimes God does things that we can't even fathom. We can't see it happening, but when everything comes full circle, you come to realize like, wow, God was really working things out for my good. So whatever seed God has planted in you, I want you today to either make a business plan or make a plan to get started. For Samantha and I, we have a business, but we also have a YouTube channel. And before we launched this YouTube channel, we made a plan. We planned out how we're going to record our videos, what time we're going to record, how we're going to release all the videos, how we're going to keep up with socials, how we're going to do X, Y, and Z. So we made a plan for all of this before we started. And then when we started, God did all the background work, allowing us to reach 1,000 subscribers in just under 3 weeks, allowing us to reach 100 subscribers within like our first week, I believe, or within our first few days of posting. And like we were able to hit so many milestones just because we were obedient, and we did our part and let God do his part. So the next thing I wanted to talk about, everything seems scary when it's new. And the only way to get over that feeling is to continue doing that scary thing. So, talking to a camera in front of like an unlimited amount of people, like there's no cap on the number of people that may see my face, is scary. It's actually very scary. And it does make me a little nervous because, you're being vulnerable by putting yourself out there. And, everybody says nobody really cares what you're doing. And that may be true. However, in the moment, it feels like everybody cares and everybody is looking at you. But as time goes on and I continuously get in front of this camera and I continuously record and I continuously hear my voice, everything becomes a little less scary. And I want to say that every feeling you're feeling right now as you begin this journey of starting whatever it is that God has called you to start, whatever it is that you're feeling right now, it has already been felt 1,000 times before. Everybody before you who's successful, who's made it big, who's, really lived out their life's purpose has felt everything that you are feeling. And I want to reference Moses in this as an example because I recall in his story, when God called him to flee or to save his people from Egypt, he's like, God, can it be somebody else, anybody but me? I just feel like I'm inadequate. I can't get it done. And that's how a lot of us feel when we hear God calling us to a certain mission or a certain purpose. And we're like, God, anybody but me, I can't do this. I can't fulfill this. I'm not good enough. I don't know X, Y, Z. I haven't done X, Y, and Z. And the thing is, God does not care about that. God does not care about your credentials, okay? He does not care about your credentials because God will open the doors that need to be open in order for you to do what he needs you to do. So you may not have that PhD. You may not have that degree in communications. You may not have any experience editing videos. But if God wants to use you, he's going to use you for his greater good, regardless of these worldly things that we use to justify our expertise and our knowledge. So another thing I wanted to point out about Moses is the fact that like his obedience saved a whole bunch of people. And you need to start thinking of yourself that same way. Your obedience will lead to the freedom or the success or the happiness or the wealth of a whole bunch of God's children. So it's not really so much about you. So you have to really remove yourself out of the equation and really start thinking selflessly and thinking for others, putting an outward approach to what it is that God is calling you to do. It's not just for you, it's for you plus 1,000 other people or 10,000 other people or 15,000 other people, whatever. So your obedience, somebody is relying on your obedience. Another example I wanted to point out, which may be a little extreme, but Jesus, before he got crucified, he was like, God, does it really have to be this way? Like, do we have to do this? Does it have to be me, And he was just really doubting, or not doubting, but he was feeling sadness, And it brings me back to Moses, how Moses was feeling inadequate. Jesus was feeling sad because he didn't necessarily want to die, but he understood that he had to die. So I just want to emphasize that every emotion you're feeling, fear, sadness, anger, grief, inadequacy, whatever, it has already been felt before. But when you listen to God, experience what he has for you, you lose nothing. So all those feelings go away. God can take that away. It's all about just living in your purpose and doing what he has planted in your heart. My third thing is you're never going to feel ready. You just have to start. Again, back to this whole, talking to a camera thing. Like, do you think I feel prepared to be on here every week? Not necessarily. Like, I haven't been to divinity school. I haven't, been at church consistently either. Like, I'm literally just a girl. I'm just a girl who has this strong inclination to get on here and talk every week about the things that God is showing me and the things that God is doing in my life. And That's what you need to do. You need to get that strong inclination to do what it is that God wants you to do. So, like, again, I don't have all the materials I need to be recording this right now. I have my mic, I have my phone, I have one light, okay? And I have a mirror behind my phone so I can make sure it doesn't stop recording. Like, nothing is perfect, and it didn't need to be in order for me to put this video out. And I think a lot of us let perfection get in the way of us just starting. And I'm also noticing this with another endeavor of mine. I like to sew on the side, and I noticed, like, if it's not perfect, I got to start over, or I got to toss it, or, and I really miss the beauty of the journey, of the process of, in literally enjoying getting to that point where things are perfect and where you have a whole production team, you have a whole studio. I have a whole sewing room or a whole sewing setup, like, in order for you to get to that point, you have to start somewhere. And by start somewhere, most of the time we have to start at the bottom. And thank God we have smartphones now, because the bottom is not really the bottom. Like, we're really starting in the middle, So just start with whatever it is that you want to do. Just start. And if you made it all the way to this point in the video, here is like my little roadmap of following God's plan. And this is specifically for entrepreneurs or creators. So I'm going to go with creators first. If you are looking to become a creator, here's what you should do. You need to figure out what it is that you can talk about. And I know a lot of people say don't niche down. Some people say do niche down. What I say is make yourself a package, okay? Figure out the things that make you you. Do you want to be an expert on something? Do you want to just come on here and talk? And if you do want to do that, how can you do that in a way that is interesting, like in a way that is relatable? So that's the first thing. Second thing, everything you do for the next 3 months of your creator journey needs to be outward focused. It's not about you. It's about you. It's about the people watching. It's about your audience. It's about the people you're trying to reach. It's not about things necessarily just for you. Like, if I came on here and I just said, guys, I'm going to start doing the thing I'm most afraid of, some people would care. Some people really would. However, more people will care when you talk directly to them. And what a lot of y'all you probably don't know is when I come on here and I make these videos, I'm talking directly to one person. And that one person is a past version of myself. Like, right now, I'm talking to me from yesterday. Seriously. And that's what makes your content different. Third thing, commit. Commit to consistency. And by consistency, I don't mean posting 3 to 5 times a day. I mean posting 3 to 5 times a week. Create a plan, a content plan, and commit to that and stick to that. Give it a try for 6 months to a year before you give up. Don't quit, because it's not going to be easy. It's something new, You have to be open to trying new things, and you have to be open to doing new things. So don't quit. Give it a try for 6 months to a year. 6 months to a year. And if you guys want me to talk more about content creation and like marketing and stuff like that, because I really am interested in that on the side. But if you guys would like for us to go into more details about things like that for people who are interested in content creating, then definitely let us know in the comments. Now, as for entrepreneurship, here is what you need to do. You probably already have an idea. If you don't have an idea, find one. Okay, you can't rely on other people to give you an idea. If you there's always a way to take your interests, your hobbies, your passions, or even if it's none of that, there's always a way to take something and turn it into a business. You just have to really, really, really be creative and think of crazy things and step outside of the box. So that's the first thing. Step outside the box with your idea. Do something different. Solve a problem. Your idea needs to solve a problem. If it doesn't solve a problem, start over. Start over. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Second thing you're going to do is you're going to create a business plan. You're going to create a business plan because this will help keep you accountable on your journey. And as you progress in your entrepreneurship journey, you're going to be able to apply for loans, for grants, and all of those things because you have a business plan. The third thing is to figure out your marketing plan. So what I like to do is study other businesses, study other like influencers, creators, because essentially those are businesses as well. So I like to study those things, study those people, study those brands, see what I can learn. And you take notes and you use what's working and you implement it into your own brand. And then the fourth thing is to start. Get your inventory, get your packaging supplies, get all of the materials you need to get started. Plan a launch date and launch it. If you want a more in-depth like roadmap or journey to entrepreneurship as well, I will definitely be open to doing a video about that. You guys just have to let me know. But these are like the very basic steps that I would recommend to anybody looking to just begin. And yeah, I really hope that helps somebody. If it did help somebody, I'm more than grateful. Just one person, that's all I need. But thank you guys so much for tuning into another video. We are so blessed to have you all here, and we are looking forward to continuing this journey with you guys, and we're wishing you a great week. I'll see you guys in the next video.